All right, we are live. Now this should work this time. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jody Friedman. Hopefully this is working. I'm going to check on my end because we had some technical difficulties earlier, but it should be working now. So if you guys are there, go ahead and, oh cool. All right, here we go. I think it should start soon. Is this happening? All right, so the comments are coming in. Is anybody out there? One of my great songs. Great song by Pink Floyd. They're one of my great favorites. All right, it is working great. Thank you, Unfinished Story. Thank you, Alpha Project. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Monkey Works. All right, cool. So we are up and running. That's great. Some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. This is my first YouTube Live. I've never used YouTube before. I've always done Zoom. But I thought I'd give it a try, and I learn like anything. You learn, through doing. So there we go. All right, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know where you're from. James from Montreal. That is awesome. Let me pull this up here. Thanks for letting me know. Who else is here? And let me know what you do. Are you a songwriter? Are you a composer? Are you a publisher? Are you a music supervisor? Drop in the comments. Let me know where you're from and what you do. Aja's here from Boston. Ted from Indiana. Awesome. Menifee, California. Connecticut. Fantastic. Awesome. Boston. We got, probably mostly U.S. people today because it's late overseas, but this is the time that I could do this. So Ralph is here from Boston. What's up, Ralph? Canada. We got a Canadian in the house. All right, for Canada. San Francisco. Fantastic. Roddy plays some synth. Is a producer. Thanks for being here, Roddy and Latrissa. And Alan Dickinson from Vancouver and Czechia. Someone joining us. Eva, all the way from Czech Republic. Thank you for being here and staying up with us. Amazing. Alabama, Ontario, New York, Columbia. Luis is here from Columbia. What's up, Luis? Connecticut. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, thank you guys for joining. So before we get started, I'm going to drink some water. And since we're 10 minutes in, I'm just going to dive right in here. Make sure if you're watching this and you're not able to chat, it's because you're not subscribed. You have to subscribe. I didn't know this until recently, but you have to subscribe in order to chat with the live stream. So make sure you hit the little subscribe button down below, which I think I even have a little animation for. Hey, look at me. I'm all fancy with my little animations. All right. So hit that button and subscribe so that you can chat. And of course, so you get all of our information at License Your Music. Thanks for being here. Good on you for showing up. You guys deserve a round of applause. All right. Good job, DJ Horn. It is hard to keep things energetic when you're over the internet, so all these noises will help us do it. All right, so get pumped. Now, what can we do next? I want you guys, we're going to be here. You showed up today for a reason. You want to learn something today. So let's turn off our cell phones. Let's be present together. Let me take your little message off of there, Roddy. Thanks again for being here. John Lynch, Scott Anderson, David Forlano, James Malik, all you guys for joining us today. Turn off the cell phones, put them down. What you're going to learn today is going to be so empowering for you. If you haven't been through my training before, it's my staple training. It was the first thing I created when I launched License Your Music. Thousands of musicians have gone through it, and I think it's going to really be life-changing. You're gonna have a lot of aha moments, and if you do, go ahead and drop aha, #aha in the chat, and let me know if you have an aha moment during this thing, because it's helpful for me to know that. So be attentive. Let's keep the chatting relevant and focused. I have a moderator here, and he is watching, so anyone that's being inappropriate or doing self-promotion, that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn together. So just keep it focused on what I'm talking about, and if not, we'll either mute your comments, or if it gets extreme, we'll ban you from the room, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's be present, and throughout the event, you're going to have questions. I want you to take a pen and paper. If you don't have one, go ahead and grab, a pen and paper and just write down your questions, because at the very end, we're going to do a live Q&A. Sound good? All right. Let's keep going. Awesome. Thanks, Carol. Oh, Carol took my course. Thank you, Carol. F. Allen, a musicpreneur. I love it. I love that. Yes, Erica Ball from Alabama. Hello, welcome. All right, so you guys don't see what's on the screen. Let's pull up what's on the screen here. Have you guys ever been to, before I open that, have you ever been to a training like this, if anyone here has been to one, where you sit through the whole thing and they don't teach you a thing, and then at the end you're sold some outrageous offer? Anybody? Drop a yes in the comments. I have. I've been to a few of those. All right, well, I want you to know that this is not that. In fact, what I'm going to do right now, I've never done before. I'm going to reveal for you, I'm going to reveal exactly what I am offering. Of course, there is an offer to work with me beyond today, but I'm going to tell you right now what that offer is and what it costs. That way, you can spend the time evaluating what I'm bringing to the table and deciding if what I'm offering is worth it to you guys. Sound good? All right, good. So, as far as how to subscribe, Paul, there should be a red subscribe button, but if you're chatting with me, you're probably already subscribed, so you're good to go. All right, so here is the offer. The offer that I'm presenting to you at the end of our program here, and this is not available to the public yet. So you guys are here, you're getting firsthand this offer, and again, get that pen and paper and be ready to write it down because I'm not going to keep this up very long. We'll circle back in the end of the discussion today what exactly this offer entails, but it's my music licensing masterclass. I am making some pretty big changes in my career, in my programs. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I realized that in order to serve you guys properly, I need to not close. I'm not closing licensure music, but I do need to not do this program again because there's a lot that goes into it, and I want to make sure that I'm serving you guys while you're in there. So this is the last time I'm ever going to be doing my masterclass. My normal price for my masterclass is $19.97. Okay. Today, this is the last chance ever to get into this. It's going to be $4.97. So there you go. The cost for my masterclass, the offer you're going to get from me, is $497. Okay. This is the last chance ever, and again, it's not open to the public. Write this link down. Scan the barcode. Okay. $497 is my offer. That's my masterclass. So now you know all cards are on the table. We can focus on the training together, and you don't have to worry, oh, what's it going to charge? What's it going to cost? Now you know it's $497, which is an incredible, insane deal for this program. There's some people here in the chat that have actually been through the program that they can, I think, attest to that. It's really an incredible offer. So write it down, scan the barcode. I'm going to leave it up for 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's move on. So thank you, Ralph. I appreciate that. Yes, Ralph went through the program. He's part of our community, and several people who go through the program we now have some deals with. We do some deals with. I've licensed several of my students' music. I also represent some of it. So there's, of course, that approach as well, but really the program is about the fundamentals of the business. We'll get into that later. Let's talk more about that later. So the best way to predict your future is to create it. Why did I put this slide up? Well, when I was younger, I was a young, dreamy-eyed teen, and I would have told you 100% that I believed in destiny and fate. And to a certain degree, I do believe that there's some truth to that. I think that the universe presents us with opportunities, and I believe that we control our own destiny, though. I believe that the decisions we make, the actions we take, and if you agree with this, let me know. Drop in the comments and say, yes, I agree. Just drop a yes if you agree with this. These opportunities present themselves to us. The universe puts it in front of us, and sometimes we see it. Oftentimes we don't. It's usually where we're not looking. And it's up to us to take action and actually walk through the door. We have to take action. So I really like this slide because the best way to predict your future is to create it. You can create your own future by taking action on these opportunities. Yes, this is really live, Chris Johnson. There you go. This is really live. This is the real deal. Real Value Productions, you agree. Awesome. Yes, T-Dawn, agree. Yes, fantastic. Agreed. Good. Everybody agrees. That's great. So we're all aligned there. So now I'm going to move forward and I'm going to ask you a question. If you know the answer to this question, don't spoil it for the others. Okay, here we go. Did you know There are over 563,000 labels, publishers, sync agents, music libraries, and managers reaching out to music supervisors every single day. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. You may understand why they might not always get back to you when you see that number. That's a lot of people. And that stat's from about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. There's probably more now. So, and here's another question for you. Who knows how many music supervisors there are worldwide? Drop it in the chat. How many music supervisors? Go ahead and guess. If you don't know, take a guess. How many music supervisors do you think there are worldwide? Any guesses? 500, that's a good guess. More than 500. It's a good guess though. Carol says 500. Eric says 1,500. Eddie Simon Media says 5 million. Oh my gosh, no. No, I wish. Up Top Entertainment, 5,000. Okay, all right, so pretty big variety of guesses here. So this answer, worldwide, there are a little over 1,000 music supervisors worldwide. A little over 1,000. So again, with that previous stat, if I can go back, 563,000 people trying to get the attention of under 1,000 music supervisors worldwide. And here's the thing, guys. They all need music. They all need music. That's the truth. They all need music. So your mind might be a little blown now. I hope it is. My mind was blown when I learned that stat. That's an astounding number of people trying to reach music supervisors, and all of them need music. So how do you learn how to be in that top 1%? Who actually get heard? How have I done that? How have I done that? I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've licensed over 10,000 songs in my time. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I'm going to teach you guys today how I do that. Sound good? All right, let's keep going. How did I break through and find my success? There's a few ways. One thing I did was I studied. I read books. I took courses. I also was mentored. I was mentored on the job by my colleagues. When I was starting out in licensing in 2006, 2007, 2008, I was able to get meetings with music supervisors. I didn't start music supervising until 2008. I started as a sync agent. And I was able to get those meetings, and I learned on the job in edit rooms, in their garages, listening to music, talking about the job. So knowledge. And then, of course, implementation. I had to take what I learned and implement that. And that goes back to walking through that door. You have to take action to find that success. You can sit back, you can absorb this knowledge all day long. You can browse YouTube. You can take in all that content that you want, anything you do. But if you don't take action and apply what you're learning, you're not going to get anywhere, because you're just going to be sitting there with that knowledge with no outlet for it. So you do have to implement what you learn, and you have to take action, even if it's small steps that you schedule in your planner or whatnot. You have to take those actions to move forward. Let's talk real quick about who this event is for. This event is right for you if you are a musician who loves music, but you have no idea how to make money from it. If you're a touring artist and you're looking for a supplemental source of income, if you're retired, but you just want to get back into the music business or get back into music and gain insight into how the music business works exactly. If you're a songwriter and you want your songs to be heard by millions globally, and maybe you're already involved in licensing, or you're tired of pitching to the endless black holes, this event will help you. If you're tired of seeing thousands, if not millions, of streams on Spotify and having zero income to show for it, this event's going to be great for you. And if you understand that in order to succeed, you do have to invest time and money in yourself, and you're ready and willing to dedicate yourself to learning the music licensing business. If you don't know the business that you're in, then you're hopeless, because the people who are professionals, they take the time to learn the business, and you have to know the business. I'm not going to teach you the business in the class today. That would be a very long master class, but you need to be ready and willing to learn the business, whether it's through me or someone else. You've got to take the time to do that. 100%. Who is this event not for? If you're not interested in learning the business, if you're a hobbyist, then you'll take the knowledge and you'll sit on it, and that's great. Good for you. I don't think this event will do much for you. If you're unwilling to learn, change, or evolve, if your only goal in life is to be famous, which used to be my goal, long time ago, that used to be my goal. I just wanted to be famous. I thought that was the only way to make it in the music business. You had to be a superstar touring artist. That is not true. That is not how success is defined. If you're expecting overnight success, this event's not for you. And if you believe you can get licensed without investing time and money in yourself, everybody who's in licensing, who's having success, understands that it takes time and it takes investing in yourself to see that success. All right, you're going to see that it's possible to build a sustainable career in licensing your music to media, and I'll show you how to tap into projects that license music so you know how to find the right project for your music. You'll also learn that we are a bit more alike than you may think. You might have seen my ad somewhere, you might have looked me up and seen what I do, but you're going to find out that we're a lot alike. Long-term success is built on learning the business first, and I'm going to show you why. So these are all some pretty bold claims. If you've never met me before, you don't know me. Why should I listen to Jody? How do I know if this guy can help me? I'd want to know that from anyone I'm learning from. And again, I'm going to tell you, I am just like you. I am a songwriter. I was a songwriter first. I'm a recording artist. I'm a composer. I'm a producer. I'm a publisher. I'm a record label owner, and I've shared your frustrations. I've gone through the troubles of booking gigs and submitting demos and getting rejected and working a job I didn't love. And if this sounds like you, go ahead and let me know in the chat. If you can relate to this, let me know. Feeling creatively unfulfilled, being stressed about the bills. I wasn't meeting my income goals. And I didn't have access. This is the biggest thing for me. I did not have access. I felt like I was on the outside looking in. So I made it my mission to get on the inside and be looking in from the inside. Now I have the luxury of seeing both sides. I can see both sides and I teach from that perspective, so you get the full perspective through my programs. How else do I know I can help you? This is what I do every day. I am also a music supervisor, and my job is to select music for projects and pay for the rights to use that music. I get hired by the studios and production companies to work on their projects like Netflix, Focus Features, HBO Max, and others. I've helped thousands of artists all over the world make money by licensing their music. And this next slide is not a brag, but I want you to know that I know my stuff. I've grossed over $2 million in license fees and over $750,000 in royalties. I'm the music supervisor, or did a job as a music supervisor. I was doing a job for ASIC Shoes. I've worked for the film Won't You Be My Neighbor. That was a film I worked on. Ugly Delicious on Netflix. Breakfast, Lunch, Dinner. Here are some other projects that I music supervise. And then I was lucky enough to be part of the music team, a bigger team, on several other projects. Here's a glance at some of them, including Outer Banks, which is premiering pretty soon. Outer Banks Season 3, I'm a fan of. I get to work on shows that I enjoy personally, which is a lot of fun, and it's really neat to see that other side of it and be able to share that with you guys. So I also own a bunch of record labels. HD Music Now is my main company. I have 2 music libraries distributed through Universal and Sony. Collaborate Music Productions is my trailer record label. Ocho Music Group is my Latin record label. Guys, I just love good music. I love good music, and if I'm going to create a record label, I'm going to create one that's niche specific and sign great music. So that's what that's about. Here's some of my clients. Here's a glance at some of my placements. Some of my favorite placements: the trailer for Mad Max Fury Road, 2 Chevy Volt commercial spots, 9 Kmart spots during Super Bowl 2014, Breaking Bad, Picard, Better Call Saul. These are shows that I watch, so that's why I throw these up here. Again, the reason I share all this with you is just to let you know that I really know my stuff. And the tools that I'm going to share with you today, you're going to be able to do the same. But what I get most excited about is helping artists like you find success, like Eric Paul. Eric Paul is an artist I signed way back when, about a decade ago, and I licensed one of his songs to a film called Friends with Benefits, and the director loved his song so much that he put it in the film 4 times, which is pretty unheard of. That doesn't happen very often. So they used this song 4 times. It became a running theme in the film, and today that song is one of my highest earning songs on my ASCAP statements, my back-end performance income for royalties. They happen every time it airs around the world. This song gets paid royalties. Eric makes money. It's one of his highest earning songs. It's one of my highest earning songs. And that's the power of licensing your music. Here's another artist of mine I want you to hear from. This is Papa Molly. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Papa Molly. I've been a songwriter, a recording artist, a producer, and performer for over 4 decades. Since I began working with Jody in 2012, we've landed 8 licenses together, including my song Sugarland, which became a running theme in multiple seasons of the show American Horror Story on FX and currently showing on Netflix. That song, along with another original of mine, was picked up and subsequently licensed for various series on Cinemax, USA Network, and CBS All Access. Jody has always been proactive in getting my music heard by the people in the film and television industry that really matter. He's very knowledgeable about which music directors and film producers are looking for something fresh, and he has a knack for pairing the right music with the right project. In a field that's really crowded and extremely hard to break into and get licensed, Jody gets it done. When it comes to getting your songs placed in television and film, Jody's the man.
Thanks, Malcolm. Malcolm is an awesome artist. He goes by Papa Molly. He's in New Orleans. He's been doing this a long time. If you're in that area, you ever get a chance to see him live, he's incredible. The artists that work with me that are having the most success, they practice what I teach, they get licensed regularly, and they earn 6 to 7 figures annually. And guys, it does not matter the genre, whether it's rock, pop, jazz, world, country, hip-hop, rap, indie, blues. There is room for all of it in music licensing. Are you guys fired up? Does that sound good? Are you pumped? You ready to learn? All right, let's go. Here we go. Here's the agenda. The training, how to get heard by music supervisors. The opportunity that we spoke about at the beginning, and then the live Q&A. Again, what I'm going to share with you right now is something that I wish was available to me 16 years ago. My training on how to get your music heard by music supervisors. Let's talk about it. Why is it so hard to get the attention of music supervisors? Well, we receive it from all sides. You heard earlier that stat about there being about 1,000 supervisors and over 500,000 people trying to pitch to us. And you got to think about what we do in our day-to-day, okay? Who do we answer to? Who do music supervisors answer to? When I'm on a job, I'm not answering to the artists that are pitching me music that I've never met before. My job is to serve my client, the producers who hired me, to hope that I get hired again. And all music supervisors serve their clients before they serve the artists. The artists actually, they're second because you want to get hired again. It's a job. It's how we make our living. So we, of course, a big enjoyment, a goal, a desire for us is to bring placements to artists. And I'm going to speak from my perspective. Instead of saying us, I'm going to say from me, but I can assure you my colleagues feel the same way, is to get placements for artists. But in order for that to happen, a lot of other things have to fall into place. So you have to think about the perspective of music supervisors and what they have to do in their day-to-day job. And we go more into that in our masterclass. I'll show you behind the scenes on what a day-to-day looks like. We just touch on it a little bit here. So who do music supervisors answer to? The producers, the directors, the record labels, the publishers too. They're involved with it, like the majors who we go to a lot. But step number 1, let's get into step 1, okay? Step 1 of how to get your music heard. This is going to seem like an obvious one. The music comes first. That's step 1. The music comes first. When I listen to music, I split it up for you guys into 3 categories: production, performance, and composition. Okay, with production, obviously that's production quality. Performance is the performance on the track, whether it's playing, singing, piano, whatever it might be. Composition could be grouped with arrangement too, but composition is how well is it composed. So let's start with production. Why do we start with production? Does anyone know why? Why would I start with production? Even if you've heard this training before, go ahead and answer. Why do I start with production? Why is that the first thing I touch on? Does anybody know? Drop it in the chat. Why do I start with production? There's a reason. I'm going to say it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, it's the first thing that we hear. It's the first thing we hear. Quality, yes, quality matters. I know there's a delay on the chat too. No quality, no placement. Quality matters. But I start with it first because it is the first thing you hear. When you hit play on a song, or on a record, I should say, when you hit play on a record, you hear the production quality. Does it sound like a demo? Does it sound like it's broadcast quality? Is it something that fits into the Spotify playlist I was just listening to? The production comes first. So the thing about production is that bad production will kill a great song's chances of getting licensed. I'm going to say that again, and I want you to really listen. Bad production will kill a great song's chance of getting licensed. Not just bad, guys, mediocre, subpar production. And I will tell you that 90 to 95% of the music that I receive is subpar production. This is why the top 5% succeed in licensing. Because what you probably think is a 10 out of 10 likely is not. Just consider that for a moment. Consider that it's just not a 10 out of 10. Consider that maybe it's more like a 5 or a 6. You think it's a 10, but what if it was really a 5 or a 6? You'd want to know this, right? We'd all want to know that. Yes, you definitely get one chance, Eddie, to make that first impression, 100%. So consider that what you think is a 10 out of 10 might really be a 5 or a 6. How do you know whether it's a 5 or a 6 or a 10 out of 10? Well, raise the bar. You've got to raise the bar on yourself. You might think, oh, my bar's already high. It's already top notch, right? My stuff's the best. It sounds amazing. Does it sound as good as these guys? This is your competition. These artists set the bar. For you to get licensed, chances are you're replacing one of these artists that the licensee cannot afford, and they want something just as good. So the supervisor's job is to sell them on licensing an independent artist who sounds just as good. So if your production is not as good as these, it's not a 10 out of 10. So raise the bar on yourself. This is when things start happening. You have to believe in yourself, you have to work it, and I guarantee you that the artists that we just saw getting all those Grammys, they're constantly raising the bar on themselves. It's never good enough. Who was it? Pablo Picasso said it takes 2 artists to tell you when the work is done. And this is the hard part about being the artist. And this is where collaborating comes into play. And you're going to need to do that too. We'll talk about that later. One artist to paint the painting and another artist to say, it's good enough, stop. And it's so true. You've got to raise the bar on yourself. You've got to know when it's ready. And the best way to know in today's day and age, you don't got to go buy a CD. You just type in the artist's name and a song and look it up here on YouTube. You're welcome, YouTube. Look it up and, listen and A/B your record to theirs and listen to their mix, listen to their bass, listen to their guitar, listen to their vocals, listen to the quality of it and compare it to yours and see if yours stands that test. All right, step number 2. Well, not step number 2. Item number 2 from step 1, the performance. A bad performance can kill a song's chances of getting licensed. If you're playing, drums on a song. Let's use drums. I've never used that example. If you're playing drums on a song, on a record, and you get to the fill and you're like rushing to get that fill done and it gets a little out of time, but you decide, let's just leave it in there. You do it several other times. Let's just say you leave it in there. that's a bad performance, and it comes across. The same with guitar. If you flub on guitar, if you hear a little too much buzzing, but you just leave it in there, whatever, let's keep it loose, let's keep it jammy. That won't work. It's got to be broadcast quality, and those bad performances will kill a song's chance of getting licensed. And people, A&R and music supervisors can hear it right away because we hear so much music. So a bad performance can kill the song's chance. What best serves the song? And let's talk about this for a moment too. Who should be performing on it? It may not be you. If you're the writer, if you're the creator, it may not be you that should be performing on that. If you write a song that is not in your genre that you normally would sing, or perhaps it would be served better in a different genre, then why not bring in another singer to sing on it? Maybe you do have a great voice, but maybe it's not in your lane. So removing yourself, taking that 30,000 foot view, looking down on your record and saying, if I just heard this for the first time, what would I think? Because that's the process for me and my colleagues and anybody you're pitching to. We're hitting play for the first time. I don't know you. I don't know your sound. I don't know what I'm going to get. You do, but no one else does. So you've got to be, I think it's called objective or subjective. I mix those up. I think it's subjective about that process. And you have to remove yourself and raise the bar. So ask yourself, who should be performing on that song? Who should be playing bass? Who should be playing guitars? Who do I know that is going to kill it? And again, this is your competition. Now look, your stuff does not have to be a super hit, and that's this next part, the next section, the composition. It doesn't have to be a hit. You don't have to write a hit song to get licensed. Chances are it's going to be in the background at a bar, and even if there's no lyrics, which the majority of music on television in particular is lyric free, it's instrumental music. So if you create instrumental music, there's plenty of space for you in licensing. The composition doesn't have to be a hit. So remember that. It just has to be a well-written song. You want to co-write with others. If you're not co-writing with other professionals, if you've never done this, you need to. You need to get out there and co-write. You got to collaborate. Think about some of the best collaborations ever, like Lieber and Stoller, McCartney and Lennon, Elton John and Bernie Taupin. The list goes on. So don't forget that collaboration is the key to finding these people who are going to help you make the best records you can, get the best performance, the best production, the best mix. That's super important. The best lyrics. If you're not a lyricist and you're a melody person, collaborate with a lyricist, someone who just kills it at lyrics. And not someone that says they create lyrics. Someone that you listen to their songs, you're like, wow, their lyrics are really good. I want to write with them. Okay? Don't just check a box. Make sure that it speaks to you. Because if it doesn't speak to you what they're doing, it's not going to speak to the song that you wrote and the people who hear it. All right. Step 2, create with intention. Creating with intention. You guys good? You learning something? Well, I can't see you. I'm so used to Zoom. Show of hands if you learned something. Nod your head yes, and drop a yes in the comments if you're learning something so far, if this is helpful. Awesome. Awesome. Good to hear. Good. And remember, if you have questions, write them down. We will definitely get to your questions. Awesome. Great. All right, let's keep going. So, creating with intention. Creating with intention. I'm going to tell you a story about how this works. I'm going to demonstrate it for you and then expand upon it. So there's 2 instances I can share with you. One was in 2011, where I received a brief for this film, this small little series called Twilight. It was the final film. It was part 2 of Breaking Dawn. And they wanted songs, and the brief had certain specs to it. And I was, at the time, working with a band called I Hate You Just Kidding here in Orange County, California. And Jeremy and Jesse, right there in the photo, lovely, lovely couple. They're married, they have a child together, and they create amazing music. And we decided to get together and try to write and produce a record and a song for this pitch. We had I think we had a week or 2, maybe 10 days from start to finish to do it. It was an amazing process. We wrote it in my townhome. We went and produced it at a studio. We actually tracked a lot of the stuff in my room, including the kick drum with a mic, you know. I was very raw, and then we went into a studio and we tracked with a children's choir from a local middle school because we wanted to put a choir on it. So that's what we did, but it didn't get licensed. It did not make it into Twilight. So that's all right. The next 4 years, I'm pitching it. Nothing's happening. I started a trailer label where we reimagine covers and we remix originals. I approached my partner, my business partner, and said, "What do you think about remixing Pure Snow?" He said, "Yeah, I love that song. Let's do it." So we produced a killer reimagined version of the song. We added orchestration and other sounds to it with Mike Rasnick, who's a trailer composer. So we brought in a collaborator. We remixed it with Mike. And it ended up getting licensed to the trailer for Handmaid's Tale, Season 1. Again, on YouTube. If you want to look it up, you can look it up. Handmaid's Tale Season 1 trailer. And you'll hear our song Pure as Snow in there. We wrote with intention, and 6 years later, it got licensed. Why did that happen? Well, there were similarities. Keywords, metadata, eerie, moody, dark, Pacific Northwest vibe, gloomy. So there's similarities. When you write with intention to picture, you're going to find that there's other projects that it fits with because there are themes in cinema, there's themes in TV shows. I'm watching the show You right now on Netflix. It's just like Dexter. I loved the show Dexter on Showtime, but it's now taken its place. It's a thematic, murder mystery kind of show. There's themes in television. They come up again and again. So when you write something with intention, you find that it will resurface, even if you don't license it for what you're writing for. It's similar to writing for artists. When you write for an artist, you're going to study that artist's catalog. So how do you do that? You have to listen. You've got to listen to TV. You've got to listen to film and the music in films and open your ears and listen to commercials, listen to trailers, and you'll find there's an abundance of opportunity for you there. Another example, Creepy Cradle, Brahms' Lullaby, which we all know, la-di-da-da, la-di-da-da, da-di-da-da, di-da-da. That's Brahms' Lullaby. So my business partner and I at Collaborate, we decided to write some new lyrics for it. We partnered with Cliff Lynn, a trailer composer. My son Jude, when he was 4, now he's 8. When he was 4, he sang on it. We wrote these simple lyrics. It's the end, say goodbye, rest your head, breathe deeply, happy thoughts, close your eyes, keep the monsters from creeping. Now, pretty basic lyrics, but we put Jude on the track, and he was 4, and then Cliff made it sound so creepy, and it ended up getting used for the full use. The entire song got used in the trailer for Haunt. Usually with trailers, they only use part of the song, so to get the full use is pretty unusual. So Eli Roth's Haunt, you could also look it up. It's on YouTube. Look up the trailer for Haunt. You'll find Creepy Cradle in there. But that's an example of us creating with intention. We didn't write it for Haunt. We just wrote it for scary, creepy trailers, and we chose Brahms' Lullaby because we thought we could make it sound pretty creepy with Jude singing on it, and it worked. So I've done this again and again with when I do get a chance to write. I'm always writing with intention. So set your intention going into your writes. I think that's really important to set intention in anything you do, even showing up today, setting the intention to learn, right? It's important to set intention throughout life. And when you're writing, it's no different. It's very easy to be inspired and start writing. And I'm not saying you don't want to hinder that creativity. You definitely want to write and get the melodies out and get the lyrics out. But think in your mind as you're writing, where could this fit? What's an outlet for this? Oh, I could see this on this type of show. Oh, yeah, I can envision that. And then you just lean into that and the song will come to life. So just something to consider. Yes, Monkey Works Music asked, Brahms' Lullaby is definitely public domain. We did not need permission to do that. So yes, 100%. Great question. Step 3, do your research. Okay, we talked about the music coming first, writing with intention, and then do your research. Attention to detail matters. So I'm going to give the example here of The Walking Dead and True Blood. When I was pitching to these shows when they first came around, again, like a decade ago, there were many people pitching music to me because I did not supervise these. I was a sync agent, and I am a sync agent, which means I'm a licensing rep. And people would pitch their music to me, and they'd say, hey, I got this song about zombies, I've got this song about vampires. And if anyone watched these shows, there were never songs about zombies or vampires on these shows. That's not the type of music they use. So when someone pitches me a song and says that, it tells me, well, they're not paying attention. Delete. Right? So you've got to do your research. And also what comes with that is know who you're pitching to. This happened just the other day. It's happened my whole life. I'm used to people assuming that I'm a woman, but I get emails like this still today. Dear Miss Jody, please listen to my music. Signed, non-attentive artist. It's a summary, but what does that tell me? It doesn't offend me. It tells me that they're not detail-oriented individuals. They're not doing their research. So what are the chances that their music is going to be detail-oriented? What are the chances they pay attention to the sound of that kick drum or the sound of that bass or the quality of their lyrics? If they don't take the time to research and know who they're pitching to and what projects are using what kind of music. There's no rush. Music licensing is a marathon. It's not a race. And there's no skipping any of this. This is the process. It really is. All right. Little bonus tip for you guys. And we dive further into this in my masterclass about how to properly research more in depth. But here's some websites to check out. TuneFind.com, IMDb Pro, that's Internet Movie Database.com. IMDb.com is one, and then IMDb Pro is another if you want the pro version. And in my masterclass, we go over the right ways and the wrong ways to pitch, and we go more in depth. I give you tools on how to properly prepare for a pitch meeting, mindset going into that meeting, the way to present your music properly, like a professional music publisher does. This is the way. Step 4: be of service. This goes back to what we spoke about earlier with the day in the life of a music supervisor, understanding what they do and being of service to them. So if I am working on a job and I've got deadlines and pressure and stress and all the stuff I'm dealing with on that job, and then here comes an artist, hands me a CD, what am I going to do? What would you do? Get that CD out of my way. I'm on a deadline. I got stuff to do. So be of service. That's usually, it's an extreme example, but I'm trying to make a point that when you're pitching your music blindly, you're not necessarily helping that person do their job. You're not being of service to them. So being of service to music supervisors, and what goes with that, a big part of it is letting go of entitlement, artist entitlement, which is an actual thing. Instead of asking yourself the question, this was a mindset shift. Instead of asking, what can you do for me? Evolve that mental state to, how can I be of service to you? So eliminating the state of what can you do for me and evolving to a mental state of how can I be of service to you. Inside my program, we talk about ways that you can be of service as supervisors, and you actually get a look behind the scenes on a project so you know exactly how I think and how supervisors think. Step 5, find good representation. This slide used to say find representation. I changed it. Find good representation. It's so important to choose the right rep for your music. And there's certain ways to go about that. There's a lot of different types of representation that exists. There's a lot of different contracts and legalities involved. We cover all of that in the program. But you need to find a good rep that fits you, that fits your music. And that comes from doing research and listening to what they have, seeing if your music is a fit, listening for gaps in their catalog and seeing if you actually can fill that gap, not forcing it. If you're not a fit, you're not a fit. You have to move on to the next person. next company. But finding good and finding the right representation for you, because it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to representation. All right, a recap. The music comes first. Create with intention. Do your research. Be of service. Find good representation. Nod your head yes, or drop yes into the chat if you've learned something new today. I'd like to know. How many people are learning something? Eric, go ahead and jot your question down. We'll answer that during the Q&A, okay? Just jot it down for me, or I'll try to scroll up into the chat. Yes, Ralph says yes. Andrew says yes. Awesome. Awesome, good. All right, so by now you guys understand where to focus your energy when pitching your music, and you know what to avoid doing in the future. And we discussed creating with intention and how that focus method leads to placements. I also shared examples of artists just like you who practice what I teach and are consistently getting licensed. We talked about knowledge and action being the key, knowledge and implementation, and taking action and implementing that knowledge, what you've learned, being the key to your success. And I want to show you an artist named Aram Zero. He goes by Mateo. And he had the knowledge and learned how the business worked. And he created a track with intention from scratch. And he implemented what he learned and then landed a massive movie trailer placement. He earned over $20,000 for that one placement. And guys, this is, I brought these out because I think that it's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to see it. I don't know if you can see that. No, you probably can't. Maybe if I hold it back a little bit. No, it's too bright. That's a check, and it's for a film. Oh my gosh. Now you can't see it. Anyway, it says $33,000 on it. This is from a famous mouse. You can kind of see him in the corner. It says $10,000 on it. It's for a, what show was this for? Oh, it doesn't say on the check what show it was for. $6,500 check for a TNT placement. A Netflix show, $5,000 check for a Netflix show. So this is real. This is not stuff that I'm making up here, okay? And the license fees range. They range from $500. I've had six-figure placements, so it really goes. I got one that was close to $200K. It goes pretty high up. So this is no joke. Mateo's just one example. You might be thinking, you're probably thinking, will I see the same results for my career? Well, I have no way of knowing that. I don't know you. I know some of you. And the ones that I see here today that I've seen many times, you guys are going to see those results because you keep showing up and you're committed. And I love that. But for the rest of you that I haven't met, I don't know you. I don't know your work ethic. But I have shown you that others are practicing what I teach and they're having success. So I've got to ask you, why can't you do the same? Why not? We're all born the same. You've got to have that belief. You've got to believe in yourself. We choose how we live our lives. And I've seen time and time again that you get what you give out of life. And you have to give time and commitment like all other artists. This isn't something that's just going to happen from you sitting back and doing nothing. You have to create this. You have to manifest this. By being here today, you guys have taken a huge step. So I know I keep hammering that in, but it's because I want you to carry it forward beyond today. So you have to give time and commitment, and then you're going to be able to celebrate. You're going to be able to be like this guy. Yeah! Come on. All right. All right. Who agrees? And nod your head yes. Drop yes in the chat. Let me know if you agree with this. It is important to study how something works in order to fully understand it. And you only get out of life what you put into it. And you must take action and apply yourself to succeed. Who agrees with that? Drop it in the chat and let me know. I want you to know that it took, oh, wow, lots of yes rolling in. There's just such a delay on this chat. Yes, yes, awesome. How do I have time? I don't know, Ray. I find the time. I make the time. I schedule the time now. Absolutely. Awesome, guys. This is awesome. Great. So it took me 16 years to get my own music. My own music was put on the back burner while I focused on growing my business and representing other music. I started doing my own music around 2015 again. So it took me about 16 years to get my music where it needed to be to get licensed. But your story can be different. And the biggest mistake, truly, that I see artists make is not taking the time to understand the business of music licensing. Learning the business is a foolproof way to start licensing your music. And you might be thinking, I'll never get there. I just don't have the skills. Just stop that negative thinking. Tell those voices to quiet down. Throw them away. Make them stop, because that's ridiculous. Just like riding a bike. You had to learn to pedal. You had to learn the balance. You had to believe. And then you started riding. It takes a little longer than riding a bike, but it's the same principles. This is Theo. Theo is a masterclass alumnus. He has licensed over 50 songs to 50 TV shows, over 50 TV shows. He's done promos for NBC, ABC, and the Food Network, an LG commercial spot. He's landed a Disneyland spot and more. This is possible for you. And someone commented earlier, they don't need the 6-7 figure spots. I don't think you should. I mean, it's good to have those in mind, but no, your point of entry is just a point of entry. Those will come. You do want to go after quality spots, but those will come. You don't need to focus or worry about landing those big spots. $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. Those are great placements to get. Even the low $500 spots are good to get, and you can see that royalty income start to build and start to grow to create that long-term nest egg for your kids and your grandkids and whatnot. So we'll talk more about that in the Q&A. But yeah, same thing in learning to walk. That's right. Chuck Hughes, another masterclass alum from Hillbilly Hellcats. In 2021, Chuck landed 8 placements for his works on projects like TNT, Netflix, and a feature documentary.
I just wanted to thank you for your masterclass. I thought the information that I had garnered from the different modules and from your class helped me to be successful at the Durango Music Festival when I met with all the music supervisors. When I walked in, I felt very comfortable talking about anything that the music supervisors requested or needed. I knew exactly what they were talking about. So I highly recommend your masterclass.
I want to say your stuff is top notch. It's really, really, really nice to watch. It's easy to watch. It's very clear. I've been studying this for a year and a half with several very top professionals, and I think this is one of the best courses I've taken so far, and I feel like I've gotten to the next step, am getting to the next step through learning from Jody. Thank you, Jody, very much for everything you've given me.
So happy with the course and everything that you do for all of us. It's just awesome. It's like I'm just so focused on it. It's so just everything I thought it would be and more. So thank you so much.
I really loved it, and I could feel all the work that Jody put into it. This is a massive thing to take on. When I'm watching Jody, I can tell that he loves it. That's so important, and it's contagious. His enthusiasm and his passion. I just feel like I finally have a little bit of a grasp, and I don't feel so in the dark now when I'm talking to music supervisors.
Jody's course, License Your Music, has been really instrumental in helping me to kind of get out of my ivory tower songwriting mentality where I feel like I'm only writing for myself, and I then still hold on to this kind of starving artist mentality. I wonder why I'm not making any money from my music, especially when it comes to being of service. And the music industry is an industry of being of service. And I think you will be blown away by what Jody can provide for you. And have a great day. All right, bye.
And I just appreciate you sharing your wisdom, because you have a ton of it, and it's great that you are you figured out a very successful model to kind of rundle and also, bring everybody up with you. So thank you for doing that.
They did the hard work. They put in the hard work. And the question is, will you? The way I see it, you have 2 options. You can do nothing, or you can learn from me directly. You can go back to the drawing board, spend time and money learning to do it yourself. And you can do this. You can spend years building your relationships, trying to get feedback on your music, figuring out the inner workings of music licensing, how much you should be charging for music licensing. That's a big one, how much you should be charging for your music. And you could potentially spend money on the wrong things. Or you can grab a hold of everything I know with my method for success in licensing and have your dream career. So nod your head yes or drop a yes in the chat and let me know if you agree with this statement here. If I were to share with you everything I know about how to license your music, that would be valuable to you right now. Can I get some hell yes? Awesome. All right, I'm excited to offer you my music licensing masterclass for the last time ever. You're going to get lifetime access. They're bite-sized videos. You can take them at your own pace. It is mobile friendly. The longest video is maybe just under 30 minutes. Most of them are under 10, and you have access to this content for a lifetime. You will learn the music licensing basics in Module 1, the benefits of having a career in licensing. You will learn why collaboration is the key to your success. The prism effect. This is how to get the most out of your recording sessions. This will teach you also to maximize your licensing efforts. And music licensing lingo. These are key terms to understand so that you can communicate on a professional level with your peers. Why is this important to know? Professionals like working with other professionals. We like communicating, talking shop. That's how it is. So it's so important to have those essentials down and understand these things. Module 2, I'm going to teach you a 7-step formula called Elevate. This is to help you get past any mental blocks or barriers that you may have to help you move forward in your career. Before we really dive deep into the meat and potatoes of licensing, if you're not mentally prepared, you will not succeed. And I want you to succeed. So have you guys heard of imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is when you doubt your abilities, you feel like you're a fraud. If you ever set out to accomplish something big in life, you feel like you're not worthy, like you're an imposter. It actually goes back again, like riding a bike. The first time you thought, I can't do that. I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna scrape my knees on the street and it's gonna hurt. I'm going to hurt my wrist. I'm not going to do that. It's doubting your abilities. You're very capable of anything you put your mind to. And Elevate is to help you deal with that imposter syndrome. It's going to teach you to simplify your workflow, to overcome obstacles, to get your music where it needs to be to get licensed. It's going to help you break free from writer's block and accomplish even your most challenging goals. You can apply Elevate to anything in life, from writing a song to riding a bike. So it's really built to be helpful for you. And I think when people come through the Elevate program, when they get out, I've had several students who print out Elevate's formula, they put it on the wall, and they just follow it, and they're still around. And it's amazing to see that they're forming collaborations, they're forming relationships with supervisors and having success. So that's really awesome to see them launch into a full-fledged career. It works. Elevate definitely works. Then we're going to dive into the business fundamentals. So so you can communicate with other professionals confidently. We'll discuss copyright law as it pertains to music licensing, including a case study. We'll go over master fees and sync fees so you know what to expect. We'll talk about performance rights organizations and royalty income, cue sheets, most favored nations, and more. So many artists make the mistake of pitching without understanding the business, but if you learn the foundation, you can lay the building blocks for which you'll be able to pitch confidently and effectively to projects. You're going to be prepared so you don't get taken advantage of or enter into any sort of bad deals. And that's why next in Module 4, we go into representation and rate cards. We're going to talk about the different types of representation available so you know what to look for in a rep, and the fees that you can expect to earn from the different forms of media that you'll be licensing to. So there's different fees for films and TV shows, trailers and ads. You know, the first deal I did was to CNN. And if I hadn't learned the basics when I did that deal, I would have lost out on $30,000 in royalties, because that was my first royalty check, and CNN asked if they could buy out my royalties. And by then, I knew enough to say no. So knowledge is so powerful. So that lesson about the type of fees to expect is worth the value of the class alone. I mean, knowing what to charge, it's just insanely valuable. So blanket licensing, retitling, libraries, and much more. This is a short but powerful module. And wait till you see Module 5. This thing's incredible. Module 5, you're going to learn who the gatekeepers are. This is the unique perspective, again, that I bring. I've been on the inside looking in. I've been a sync agent for years. I've also been music supervising. So I teach from all angles. So you're going to get the full picture, not half the picture. We talk about who all the gatekeepers are. We'll go over a day in the life of a music supervisor so you know how we think. You'll have a deep understanding of what it's like to be a music supervisor, so you know what our day-to-day looks like as I take you step by step through a day in the life of a supervisor. You're going to love it. You'll also know how to be sure that your music actually reaches the right person, so you're not pitching to that endless black hole. And I'm going to teach you something called the funnel system, which is a system I developed to explain to you how the decision-making process works on these productions. When you're working in licensing, you're not working in the music business. You're working in the entertainment business. Films, TV shows, trailers, ads, video games, internet shows, podcasts. It's the entertainment business. It's the production business. The music business is the lifeblood. It supplies the product to support these productions. So it's a different world than some of you are used to. Module 6, you've learned the what, the why, the how, now the who. Now we're going to teach you the how. You're going to learn how to make sure your pitch is effective and on point and results in a placement. You'll learn how to master the art of the pitch so that you can get placements. How to make sure your music is ready. The psychology behind networking. The importance of metadata and how to create metadata. And also I will show you a little bonus party, an insider tip on who the real party to pitch to is. Module 6 is awesome. Module 7 is going to blow your mind. By Module 7, you understand the what, the why, the who, and the how. Now it's time to show it in action. I'm going to take you through the actual paperwork that you need to understand when a licensing opportunity comes to you. This is the part where you typically bring in an attorney. So by learning this knowledge, it's so empowering because it can save you so much time and money. If right now I came to you and said, hey, I like your song, I want to license it, here's some paperwork, can you fill this out and get it back to me tomorrow by 9 a.m.? What are you going to do? Do you know how to handle that? Probably not. Some of you might, most of you probably don't. So you're going to call family, friends, hey, I need an entertainment attorney, and you're going to scramble and try to figure out what to do. This module covers all of that. This module covers all of that. Whether that happens 3 months from now or 3 years from now, you'll always have this information, and it's just incredibly powerful. We're going to go over quote requests. We're going to go over confirmation of use and license requests. We're going to go over master and sync licenses, and also the amount of time it takes for the money to start coming in and why. This is the licensing process in this module. Someone's interested. Now what? So then Module 8, I almost didn't do. I decided to throw it in. We're going to go behind the scenes on Won't You Be My Neighbor and take you through that licensing process, because I think it'll be fun for you to see it in action as though you're sitting next to me in my studio here, and I'm showing you this is how I cleared this song. This is the process. This is what we did. So this shows you that process in action. I'll show you exactly what I had to do to clear that song. So this is all my masterclass gold. Does that sound good? Is everybody good? You're still there? Awesome. All right. Good. 100%. Yes. I love it. All right. Let's keep going. So that's my masterclass gold. I'm going to give you guys a free upgrade because this is the last time I'm ever doing this. And as a thank you for being here today, I'm giving you a free upgrade to my Platinum Masterclass. This has all the stuff the Gold Masterclass has, and then a bunch of insane bonuses that we're going to talk about right now. Everyone loves the bonuses. That's what it's all about, right? The course is fun, but we want the bonuses. Give us the bonuses. So let's talk about it. You're going to get 6 exclusive panels with guest experts, and you'll learn that not every supervisor works the same way. So I wanted to give you a variety of experts that you can learn from, starting with Julian Drucker. We'll go behind the scenes on a 2020 Netflix musical starring Meryl Streep, James Corden, and Nicole Kidman with Julian for Netflix The Prom. You'll gain insight into how the music was selected so you can determine if you should be targeting similar projects. You'll find out how pre-records work for musicals to understand how you can contribute to that process. You'll also learn what Julian's music needs are and how he listens to music during a listening session that we do in this module. We'll also talk with Jennifer Smith, who's worked for Ellen and Why Women Kill, among others. You'll learn the difference between scripted and unscripted television so you know which one to focus on pitching to. You'll gain insight into how the music licensing process works on live competition shows so you can decide whether or not you should pursue them. And you'll discover the pros and cons of using samples from Splice or sample libraries so you don't waste your time and money on unnecessary loops or beat packs. Then we'll do possibly my favorite session with Mike Ladman, who works for a company called Droga 5. He works in advertising with Hennessy, Facebook, Chase, Google, some of the biggest clients on earth. We go behind the scenes on the commercials from 2019 and 2020. You'll learn how these ads were put together, featuring brand collaborations with the likes of RZA, Serena Williams, and Kate Tempest, so that you can see how and why Mike chose the songs that he did for those spots, so you can know how to produce records that will be chosen the next time around. And so that you can finally answer that burning question of, hey, why did they choose that song in that commercial? Why didn't they choose mine? How can I get my song in that commercial? That's what this session is meant to help you answer. I learned a ton from this session with Mike, and I know you will too. Joel C. High, we'll go through a day in the life with Joel. He is a highly regarded music supervisor, a veteran, the president of the Guild of Music Supervisors. We'll get a glimpse into what goes on behind the scenes in his day-to-day working for Rob Zombie and Tyler Perry, so you can determine how you can best serve Joel and his needs. He has his own methods for doing things, so you'll learn his preferred methods on how he likes to do things, and you'll learn what kind of music he needs and how he likes to be pitched to, so you know how to present yourself to him. Joel is open to receiving music. All of these supervisors are. You just have to know the right way to go about it, and we go over that in the program. Then I threw this one in because I am a songwriter first. There's such power in a great song, and there's no better mentor than Judy Stakey. Judy was my songwriting mentor, and she's the former senior VP of creative for Warner Chappell. During her time at Warner Chappell, she worked with Jewel, Sheryl Crow, Michelle Branch, Joy Williams, Gavin DeGraw. She's responsible for developing writers and facilitating hit sessions like Carole King and Jerry Goffin and Barry Mann and Cynthia Whale. Some of the best, biggest songwriters around who have had the biggest hits and the longest careers have learned from Judy. So you're going to learn her special method for finding your hook and crafting the best song possible. You'll discover the 6 tools needed to overcome the biggest challenges when writing songs so that you can put your best song forward every time you pitch. Sounding good? These bonuses are sounding good, right? These are fire. I think these are fire. Can I get a few fire emojis? All right, you're also going to gain access to this listening session with Brittany, Duje, Hunter George, Sarah Ponder, and myself. You may not know who they are, but you will once you get into this world. They are music supervisors themselves. Sarah currently works, she was a trailer supervisor. She works for APM Music, one of the biggest libraries around. Brittany works on a lot of reality television for Fremantle, I believe it is. No, Endemol Shine. And then Hunter's also the executive or was the executive manager at the Guild of Music Supervisors. He also music supervises himself. You're going to learn what works and what doesn't, so you know what we're listening to when we listen for music. These listening sessions, again, it's not about, it is, you want to get your songs heard, but you want to know how people are evaluating music. And these sessions like this are so valuable because you learn how we listen to songs and what we're listening for, so that you can craft and produce and pitch music the right way. And it will save you years of trial and error. And if that's not enough, I'm going to give you this training we had today. I'm also going to give you a bunch of downloadable guides, cue sheets, and templates. And you're going to need Disco. Disco is the industry standard for file sharing. It embeds metadata, which we go over in the program, and you're going to get 20% off your first year of Disco by joining. And then my biggest drum roll, my biggest bonus, my contract templates. You're going to get a copy of my contract templates for you to use. These are templates that I spent $4,000 on myself when I hired an attorney to create these for me. So how great is that? I'm literally saving you thousands of dollars. All right. All right, let me take this off. Like Jeremy. Jeremy, he's a masterclass alum, and he sent me this email not too long ago. Hey Jody, I recently landed my first sync placement in an upcoming commercial radio spot. It was so helpful to use the sample quote requests and the license from your course as a template to create my license for it. So instead of going out and paying probably $800 to an attorney to review some agreement that he was sent, or having his own drafted for thousands of dollars, he was able to use my templates, and that's why I'm giving it to you. Excuse me. The total value of the package, easily over $12,000 in value. Here's what other people charge: tuition, $45,000, $40,000, $25,000, $51,000, $24,000. And again, the best investment is investing in yourself. This is the last opportunity. I'll repeat that again. The last opportunity to get into this program. In case you joined us late, I will not be opening this program up again. You'll get instant lifetime access, normally $19.97, yours today for just one payment of $297 and an additional payment of $297. Okay, so close to $600 there. Or you can save $97 and make one payment of $497. I wanted to make this affordable for you. It's my last enrollment ever. Let's break that down. It's $1.36 a day for 1 year. So you got to ask yourself, is your career worth $1.36 a day? Is your happiness worth $1.36 a day? What if all this did was generate an extra $5,000 in upfront license fees? Would it be worth it? Or if it just gave you those templates to have on hand, would it be worth it? What if all it did was give you that confidence that you need to communicate with other professionals? Would it be worth the $497? That's the cost of like one of my microphones over here. What if all it did was to give you the market knowledge of license fees so you know what to charge? Think about that. Just not underpricing your music, knowing what that market calls for, what to charge. You can quickly make money when you do have an offer on the table. But here's the deal, all right? I wanted to make this an absolute no-brainer for you. So I'm giving you a 100% guarantee on this. You've got 7 days or one module, whichever comes first, to try out the system and see if it's right for you. If you like my teaching style, which if you like what we've done today, this is my style, this is how I teach. You've got 7 days or one module, whichever comes first, to try out the system and see if it's right for you. Lane said, I had a great experience taking the class. I found it tremendously helpful. It was a great breakdown of the industry and excellent direction on my music. I'd highly recommend it. Rob said, your course has been so helpful. I'm already seeing the benefits and feel like the songs I'm producing have a much better chance of getting placed. Rob, I sent him a check this past week for a placement. It's awesome to see. Rob joined the program, I think it was about a year ago. So he's getting placed. Things are happening. And I tell you, the first placement is the hardest. The first two are the hardest, and then it gets easier. It just starts to spiral. So just getting that activity is awesome to see. It's what I want for you guys. Again, the best way to predict your future is to create it. You've got to take actions to get this price and these bonuses. The bonuses are free. It only costs $4.97. It's 75% off. LicenseYourMusic.com/now, NOW. It will end on Saturday at midnight Pacific time. No exceptions. We're going to move on to the Q&A section now. Before we do that, have your questions ready. I'm going to go over some frequently asked questions because these are going to come up in the Q&A if I don't. The time commitment for the masterclass. And thank you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. I should say that. I really appreciate, I'm looking at the viewers here. There's still so many of you here, a lot of you here. And 65 were here at the start. There's 50 here now. That's amazing. So thank you for sticking with it. Let's get to your questions. The time commitment, it takes, you could finish the course itself in about 4 hours if you really wanted to plow through it. The lessons are generally 2 to 5 increments to digest at your own pace. And then the bonus content's another 6 hours, so maybe 10 hours altogether. How much money? Save that question, Scott. I'm happy to answer that. Save that question for the Q&A. How much money can I make in music licensing? Well, that depends on you and how much work you're going to put in. Again, I don't know you. I don't know your work ethic, so I can't really say. I do know artists that are hard workers and put the time in and learn the business. They earn 6 to 7 figures annually. I've seen it happen time and time again. Can't I just do it myself? Absolutely. I did it myself. It's definitely something you can pursue on your own and learn as you go, but it will take you a long time. When I was doing this, music supervisors were more accessible. I was able to get meetings. You can't really do that anymore. Why is that? There's so much content being made. In the past year, the amount of content doubled. I just finished a very large job. I just got off a large job, and I'm probably going to be starting another one pretty soon. So there's just so much content. So there's so many, there's just not enough time for the supervisors to take those meetings anymore. That's really what's happening. Will I be able to submit music to you in the masterclass? No, not for this one. If you would like to have your music heard by supervisors and sync agents, keep an eye out on your inbox. Get on my list for our next level listening sessions. They generally happen every month, and we bring in guest supervisors and sync agents. But make sure you know the business before you attend those. You know how to talk to them and how to serve them. Is there a payment plan? Yes, there's a payment plan. You'll find that on the payment plan option. What is your refund policy? 7 days or 1 module. We covered that. And can I guarantee you'll get licensed after taking the masterclass? Absolutely not. I've seen courses that offer this, and I advise you to be very leery. I give you all the tools you need to get placements, but you still have to implement what we teach you to make that happen. So I can't guarantee that. So it's been an honor talking with you guys tonight. Let's get into the Q&A section. All right. Let me close this out, and I'll pop over here in my slideshow. Okay, so your comments. Let's see. Some questions coming in. So, let's see. Okay, we got. Let's see. I'm scrolling up to the top here. All right. How does your class compare to Michael Elsner's? Well, our classes are very different. There's definitely some similarities, but Michael teaches the business. He also teaches from the perspective of a composer-producer, whereas I teach from the perspective of a sync agent and publisher. So, Michael has a process that I think that you can certainly apply as a composer. It's a great program. And if you're a composer-producer, I would encourage you to take both mine and Michael's classes. You definitely should take his class. It's a great class. So he'll teach you a process, a 4-step process as a composer to really create that content. So where Michael's class finishes, I would say mine picks up, where I start more about like how to pitch your music, the who, the what, the why, the how, the business fundamentals are in there as well. But my experience has been as a publisher and as a sync agent, and then getting to go behind the scenes on the music supervision side. So really, if you're taking Michael's program already, my program's the perfect complement for that one. So hope that answers your question there. Let's see. Greg, I understand, man. Yeah, if you don't need to do it, don't worry about it. Ray Dowling, I've seen your name, Ray. Do your templates work in any country such as the UK? Yes. Quote requests, master and sync licenses, and the confirmation of use and license request is used in the UK as well. I've done licenses in the UK, and they definitely accept those templates. You might need to change dollars to pounds. Excuse me. And it's possible that your client already has a deal with PRS for music, so they might have some standard language they add to it, but it'll certainly give you a starting point to issue to them. Absolutely. How does your masterclass? Yeah, we went through that. What do I mean by representation? Representation, you have to have a rep. So you know how, John, actors have agents who get them work. It's the same in the music licensing space. There are sync agents who represent copyrights, and that would be your music, your songs, your records. And these representatives, like myself and my colleagues who are also sync agents, and I want to clarify, most supervisors are not sync agents. I happen to do both, but don't approach a supervisor asking them to represent you, because that's not what they generally do. I started as a sync agent and then became a music supervisor, so I do both. But I'm wearing two different hats, right? Sometimes I'm a sync agent when I'm a seller, I'm pitching music, and other times I'm a buyer. I have my supervision hat on and people are pitching to me. So that's the main differences there. So when you're going to need representation, whether it's through a sync agent or a music library, you will need a good rep to represent your music, because these are trusted individuals that supervisors go to. Gary, the only payment plan we have is the 2 payments of $297. Because it's already priced so low, I even debated having a payment plan for one fee of $497 when it's normally $1997. I thought I'm going to give them an option. So it's just to split it up over 2 months. So it would be 2 payments of $297. That's the payment plan option. Let's see. J.M. Kearns. I have demos of my songs recorded in Nashville where I brought in demo singers who were paid a fee. Okay. Can I submit these recordings for film and TV, though the singers was given a fee but no rights? That's a common question, JM. These are singers that I would need to know, are they work for hire or not? Did they sign a work for hire form? I know in Nashville it's common for demo singers to come in and sing on projects. Whenever I've recorded in Nashville, I always get them to sign a work for hire. Most of those players are union, so you'll have to check with the union about that. But if you paid them and there was an exchange there, and they know they don't own any of the material, then you should be fine. You just, to protect yourself, you do want to put a work for hire agreement in place with them. Alpha asks if there's any differences for Canada. I think you're asking about the templates. No, it's the same in Canada as well. You're welcome, Ray. You're very welcome. Let's see. Aaron, I'm thinking that your module on the gatekeepers will be the lesson that teaches a songwriter how to make contact, yes, real contact with supervisors in order to pitch music. Yes, absolutely. We go over that in definitely some in that module. We also go over it in module, I think hold on. We start in that module, and then we go over in the next module, which is how to pitch your music. So you start with the who, you learn how the decision making process works. Then the next module gets into the nitty gritty on how to contact them, how to pitch your music. So I think that would be more the following module. I believe it's module 6 that talks about the how. Let's see. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis is the man. Dennis has been a graduate of ours, and he's in our community. He is an awesome guitarist in Cleveland. Thank you, Dennis. Let's see. I'm living in New Zealand. I'm interested in doing this for some time now. Money is tight and I'm doing a complete house renovation, so perhaps a payment plan. Whatever works, Eddie. I definitely don't want anybody to go in the hole for this. I will tell you that, it's it's $497. Again, it's like the cost of a new mic. I could justify it all day long. It's so often that we're hesitant to buy things for ourselves, to invest in ourselves. We think, I'll just do it myself. It may take longer, but I'll do it myself. This is one of those things that will take a lot longer. And if this existed, gosh, when I was getting into this, if online courses were a thing, I would have jumped in right away. I probably would have spent thousands of dollars to get into it, just to skip to the front of the line. So just something to consider is swapping out. This is something that someone taught me recently that I think is so true. And I still say I can't afford that to things, right? We all say that. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And lately I've been swapping that out with, that's not a priority for me right now. And that's okay if it's not. But the next time you find yourself saying, I can't afford that about anything, I want you all to experiment with that. It could be anything. It could be eating dinner at the local, melting pot or whatever. When you say, I can't afford that, try swapping that out with, that's not a priority for me right now. So then if that's the case for those who really can't afford this, if this isn't a priority, if licensing and everything I presented to you today isn't a priority, that's fine. Yes, thank you, Ralph. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great courses out there. Yeah, for sure. Greg says, I got singers on my song. I own the lyrics. I wrote the lyrics, so I own 100% of the song. Well, as long as they didn't write the melody, Greg. If they wrote the melody, then that might not be the case. So you just want to be careful with these things. This comes from learning the basics and the fundamentals of the business. You're welcome, Carol. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Carol is fantastic. Let me see if there's any other questions coming from above. If not, I'll let you guys go. Let's see. I don't see any others up top. Let's see. Yeah. Any other questions? The deadline is Saturday. The deadline is Saturday, Gary. You've got till Saturday at midnight. And if you're not on my list, I'll be sending out emails throughout the week. Make sure you get on my list. licenseyourmusic.com. Go ahead and opt in. You'll get a free guide. And go ahead and opt into that and get on my list. Let's see. Roddy, why am I not opening this program anymore? Well, again, I just came off a very, very hectic job. My music supervision is very, very busy. So I'm changing things in the way I structure my business. So I need to be able to serve musicians who are serious and committed at the highest level. So I'm still going to be teaching. I'm going to be mentoring. I'm going to be coaching. But I just won't open this program anymore because those who join this program, and I should mention this program is capped at 200. I usually get about 300 applicants, and a lot of them end up on the waiting list. But you know what? Let me put up that URL again. There's the URL if you're wanting to look at it. licenseyourmusic.com/now. That's where you can go, Paul, to find the link to pay for the course. So I usually have a waiting list. I have to cap it because when you're in the program, you're going through it, you're going to have questions, and I want to make sure that I can answer those questions and serve you guys while you're in the program. And 200 is a lot actually to serve, so I cap it at that. So make sure you check it out and get in before it fills up. And you guys, this link up right now, it hasn't even gone out to my list. My list doesn't get this until tomorrow morning, so go ahead and check it out. licenseyourmusic.com/now. Let's see. Chris SD warns that being with a licensing rep can get you lost in the shuffle. You become just one of hundreds on their roster, that it can actually be harder to place your music. Well, that goes back to finding the right rep, James. You got to find the right fit for you. You're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. So I turn down a lot of music because I'm not as proactive in my pitching efforts anymore. I'm reactive. I'm on a lot of people's lists. I still get plenty of placements, which is awesome. But I'm not out there knocking on doors and scheduling a bunch of lunch meetings like someone who's younger, just starting out might be. So if you're wanting someone who is young and hungry and a go-getter, then that might be the right type of sync agent for you. But you're not going to get lost in the shuffle if your music is undeniable. That's what it comes down to. So I think that could probably speak more to Chris's comment. If your music is undeniable, a good sync agent is going to be pitching it regularly. And when you pitch it yourself too, the music supervisor is going to remember you because it's undeniable. But going back to our training from earlier, it has to be undeniable. And that usually takes time and investment to create those records. Let's see. Andrew says, I have 100 recordings. Need to do this. That's awesome, Andrew. 100 recordings is a great start. That's a little music catalog, music library you've got there. Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you. Let's see. Is it possible, Aaron Shim, is it possible to get my existing catalog assessed for its production quality to determine what I might need to change for pitching to sync? Or do I just compare to other artists? I've had a few. Well, like I said earlier in our training today, is your existing catalog on par with major label records? So I'd start there, compare them. It's so funny and interesting to me that even when artists show up to our next level listening sessions, which might be a place for you to come and pick a song and submit, just get on my list and you'll find out when they happen. We have a guest music supervisor or guest sync agent or a guest producer, and they can review your song and tell you what needs to change about it. Those are great. Those are really helpful. Oftentimes, you already know. You just don't want to say it out loud. You don't want to tell yourself. If your gut is telling you something about your record, chances are you should trust your gut. And I think that, and I still do this, it's easy to ignore that and just let it go. But trust your gut. Now, again, it comes a point, this is where collaboration comes in. It comes to a point where you got to know it's good enough. Let's get it out there and pitch it. But if something's really irking you or it's just not quite 100%, a 10 out of 10, keep working at it. So, I mean, that question, Aaron, tells me that you're unsure, which you're probably right. It probably isn't. I don't know, but I would guess it probably isn't ready. So you might need to tweak it. But maybe it is. I don't know. It's hard to say. You're very welcome. DJ Aljur Gomez, I have 40 best songs. Good. 5 Asian awards. Awesome. Great. You know, there's some artists that have hit songs and hit records that I would never license because it's not licensable. There's, knowing that you're good and you're creating good records, it's getting credibility, that you win awards. I think that's fantastic for people, and it definitely confirms things for them, and I think that's awesome. But it doesn't necessarily always translate to licensing. So there's certain things you need to learn. Let's see. Is it better to sign exclusively with a sync agent or just with some songs and exclusively with a few others with a different agent, or work non-exclusively? Craig, I am a fan of exclusive. As you probably know, I used to do non-exclusive deals. I don't do those anymore, and I've had a lot more success with exclusive deals. And the way you got to think about it is, if I'm supervising a project and I get the same song from different parties, I'm in a pickle. I don't know who to go with. So I toss them out and I move on to the next. And most of my colleagues do the same. You want to have exclusive representation. And the downside is you're putting all your eggs in that basket. But to your point, it doesn't have to be for all your songs. It could be for some of your songs with one exclusive sync agent, some of your songs with another exclusive sync agent, or music library. And the other part, of course, is not being too precious about your songs. And that's something that everybody's precious, but you want to just create. Focus your energy on creating. Put your systems in place to churn out content. And Craig, I think you do. But churn out the content. Place some with this library. Say thank you very much and move on. Churn out 10 more. Place some. Say thank you very much and move on. And that's that. James, awesome. Welcome. Welcome. That's so awesome. I'm going to give you a... All right. James signed up. Yes. All right. Fantastic. Anyone else want a fire horn, a DJ horn? Fia, fia, fia. Awesome. Well, this has been really great, you guys. Thank you for allowing me to present to you. And James, I'll see you in class. Aaron, thank you. Craig, thank you for being here. Everybody, DJ Aljour, Ian, Comfort Within Noise, my moderator, thank you so much. You are awesome. Ray Dowling, thank you. You guys have a great night. I'm going to call it, and I will see you around. Best wishes. Bye-bye.